Hello, peeps. It's the Hillbilly Halfwit. It's Friday. Friday. Lots of you breaking up, going on the beer. Have a good time, for Christ's sake. And I got to put a video out today, haven't I, to cheer you all up or wind you all up or whatever. If you're watching, happy Christmas. Hope you have a good time over Christmas time and get merry. And go down to the bottom here and subscribe if you don't mind. It doesn't cost you anything and it helps me out a lot. Okay, so what we're talking about today is quite a few things today. We're talking about the nutty Welsh spending and especially the massive water rises we're having. It's unreal. We're talking about Rupert Low, fantastic MP for reform, and the things he's uncovering is out of this world, and various other things, and some corruption by one of the Labour MPs of their family up into the billions. So let's get going. The content in this video is intended for comedic purposes only. The views expressed in this video are not to be taken as factual information or representation of my personal beliefs. I am critically reviewing the info and videos I show as examples. Now, here we are, look. There's Mr. Starmer's been on about Musk interfering in our elections with money. It's okay for him to have American billionaires. BlackRock, this twat as well, is always there. And he's also given 200 million to the BBC. So what's good for the goose is good for the gander. Lots of people don't like Musk. I got to say, I think in the long run, he does some things I don't like, but in the long run, he is helping our side out. I'm pretty sure of that. So there we are. Right, this is something I saw off Martin Lewis. Now, it's Ofwat has announced that water bills are going to rise by 36% in England and Wales over the next 5 years. Now, if you look at the table down below, my mind looks at different things to other people. I just happen to look at this. So let me just read this paragraph out first. Yet the rise is heavily front-loaded with a 20% rise next year. This means average bill will rise from £440 to £526 this year. There's a huge variance by water firm, and I've attached Ofwat's table below. So you can look at your own one here. Let me just move that out of the way. But look at Dŵr Cymru. Now, I'll just look at this. You can look at yourself at these other ones, but I'm going to make this bigger so you can see this is Welsh Water, a not-for-profit organisation. So Dŵr Cymru, where I put the underline on, look. So the average bill in 24 to 25 is going to be £455. Now, the average bill from 25 to 26 is going to be £566. So that's, if you look across here, Anglian Water above is the highest before that, so it's 491. That goes to 547. But the Dŵr Cymru is 455, so it's below that. So it's jumped from 455 to 566. Now we'll go across again. Average bill from 29 to 30 in Dŵr Cymru is going up then from 566 to 645. It's the highest anywhere. Then from 24 to 25, it's gone up £111, more than anywhere in the country. So it's a 25% increase from 25 to 26. But if you keep going across, the change from 29 to 30, so 2029 to 30, is going to be £191. So the total change up to 2030 in Wales is 42%. Now you look down that table on the right there, the only one that's larger is Southern Water. But Dŵr Cymru in Wales, where we have most of the water we send to England, our own water price has gone up. Most of our water goes to Birmingham from the dams where I live, and our water rates are going up 42%. It's absolutely unreal. And this shows what things are happening in Wales. We're being run by a bunch of crooks. Now, here's another thing. This affects my little town because there's always been open toilets in our town, and now they're putting locks on them. So you basically have to pay to go in there. And I hate that because I know when my father was ill, he was afraid to go to local areas because he used to pee himself. And messing about trying to get into the door like that for elderly people is horrible. Absolutely horrible. It really gets my goat. When you pay your taxes, you should be able to go into a toilet for free. It's a human right. Now, Welsh councils are hiring a 45,000 a year diversity manager despite closing nearly half of its public toilets at a cost-cutting measure. This is the people we have in our country, in Wales. They are tossers. This is what they're spending the money on. This is from Wales. Problem periods for blokes who are pretending to be guys, to be women. For transgender boys and men who have periods, or people who have periods that don't identify with one gender, problem periods can be complicated. It's likely that fairly common symptoms like sore breasts and bloating can be extremely stressful for someone who doesn't identify as a girl or a woman because the bodily symptoms don't match the gender they really are. I know, because they're a male. You cannot have a period if you're a male. It's all in your head. You're losing your mind, people. These people are mentally ill. They're cross-dressing. But we're paying for all this nonsense in Wales. Now, this is the capital funding in Wales. I showed this one ages ago, but I thought I'd show it again. There we are, is a representation of it. Climate change, 4.8 billion. Rural affairs, so it's agriculture in Wales, costs them 335 million. Look at the amount of money they're spending on this in these years now at the moment. It's unreal, absolutely unreal. And to see it in a table there's your Welsh budget changes year on year from 24-25 by spending. Climate change up 5.4%. It's everything else. Rural affairs minus nearly 13%. That's what's going on in Wales. That's what's going on in Wales. Now, this guy needs a medal. Rupert Low, he's from Reform. He's finding out all this stuff about what's going on. He's putting freedom of information requests in, and they can't stand it. He needs a medal, this bloke. And I got to say, if anything happens to Farage, this guy could be Reform's leader. He's fantastic. And he's a farmer as well. Now, he's put in a request for internal data revealing that foreign national offenders with the highest number of reoffences for 21 to 22 by nationality, following my questioning. So the Bangladeshi are the highest ones, Ethiopian, Iranian and Lithuanian. Released from custody given to court between April 21-22. Why are these Bangladeshis allowed to remain in our country to offend again? Between April 2018 and March 2022, there were 38,868 reoffences from foreign national offenders, including the following crimes: sexual, 555, theft, 11,852, violence against a person, 4,418. The Ministry of Justice estimated that from April 21 to March 22, 140 foreign reoffenders with 10 or more reoffences were released from custody or given a court order. And they're putting people in for doing hurty words when they're loosing these crooks out. Now, this is another thing Rupert has found out. They found out that there's a load of fertilizer in the port in Great Yarmouth from Russia. And basically what's happened, they've tipped it in the sea, dropped it into the sea, in the fertilizer bags. Nobody knew nothing about it. They thought it was going to be a big bomb. And this is from the Conservative Party. Here we have it. Great Yarmouth was very close to being evacuated. Our own Member of Parliament welcomed Great Yarmouth's own floating mega bomb into the port, claiming there was no danger at all and instructing residents to just ignore the cargo ship and carry on. Unfortunately, our Reform MP is so obsessed with his party ideology and appearing on national chat shows that he's lost focus on the important local matters that took his eye off the ball on this travesty. It's now quite clear that the flip-flopping and damage limitation is taking place. Well, what happened here? They never even told Rupert Lowe, one of the head councillors there, MPs there, about this. And here's Rupert Lowe's response. Right, let me be abundantly clear. The Conservative leader of the council and deputy knew about the potential evacuation at the time. They have said nothing about that. I did not know. He's the MP, Rupert. They knew your elected MP was not informed. I have worked non-stop for a month to put the facts together in order to properly inform my constituents. I believe that in transparency, and the local Tories clearly do not. The whole mess was a massive overreaction. Had sensible procedures been followed, there would have been no problems, and this ecological terrorism wouldn't have been avoided. Now remember, they've dropped, is it 400 or 500 tons of fertilizer in fertilizer bags into the sea just outside the harbour? Just dropped it there. I would reply to their post myself, but they have blocked me. You, the people of Great Yarmouth, are my boss. I have worked relentlessly to get the facts together in order to inform you all of this outrageous scandal. You deserve to know the truth. I have secured a debate in Parliament tomorrow and will use that to call for a full inquiry. I will not rest until we have answers. So he's finding out huge amounts of stuff. And now this was found out the other day. Now the Tory-controlled county councils are trying to request suspension of May elections ahead of Labour's restructuring plans. So they're trying to stop Norfolk, Suffolk, Devon, Essex, Hertfordshire and Lincolnshire from having council elections now as well, because they're afraid of losing them to Reform. They're bloody crooks. All Labour and Conservative are a uni party, though, I'm afraid. Now, this is another thing of Rupert Lowe. He sent this to to Dame Angela MP. It's about basically a breakdown of all the amount of money that's been spent on housing migrants, everything. I'm not going to read through all this because it's going to take ages, but that's what he sent to her. And they're not sending him back. He's asking for the money, basically the breakdown of all the money that they're spending, because they're hiding it all. He's got £1 billion he's seen there, and it's not half of it. And the same year. So offering more detail around these contracts worth billions and billions used to house illegal migrants should be an obvious step on the path of good and transparent government. I hope you will consider my requests. I'm simply asking for the data. Show it to the British people. They can make up their own mind. Many thanks, Rupert Lowe. Now, you go on to this and stop it and read these things yourself. Okay? So they're trying not to give this data out. And I looked myself, remember, and it was 4.5 or 4.7 billion, if I remember correctly. Now, this is the Labour on the WASPy women. All these lot were campaigning with the WASPy women, and they've all stuck the finger up at them and lied again. You cannot trust these people. Now, this is a lady I was talking about, the Labour minister, her family. A Labour minister has been named in an investigation that claims her family embezzled up to 3.9 billion from infrastructure projects in Bangladesh. Tulip Siddiq, who is the Treasury's economic secretary responsible for tackling corruption in UK financial markets, is alleged to have broken a deal with Russia in 2013 for a new nuclear power plant in Bangladesh that saw 1 billion siphoned off into private hands. Her family. You can't make this up. You cannot make this up. And she's in charge of tackling corruption. Here she is, look. Here's her family. And there she is with Matey Boy in Camden. Corruption Minister Tulip Siddiq under investigation in Bangladesh amid claims her family took billions from Russian nuclear plant she helped to broker. So there we are, all true. Hard to believe. Well, it's not hard to believe because they're all crooks. So there we are. There's the one for today. Please comment, rate and subscribe, and go down there and subscribe. Like I say, it doesn't cost you anything. And if you don't mind, have a look at my shop and see if you could buy a sticker or something like that. Only if you want to. Okay. Thanks a lot, everybody. All the best. gas.